Recently, a Porsche Taycan was driven from coast to coast in the United States of America, and it set an insane record that shouldn't actually be possible. In fact, when I read the story, I have to say I was skeptical because it appeared as though it wasn't actually mathematically possible to do. But it turns out it actually was, and here is how it was done. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Electrek Viking. My name is Sam Evans. Welcome to the channel, you new subscribers. Great to have you. Welcome back. Everyone else, hope you've had an amazing 2022 so far this year. I hope this year has been good for you. I know in North America, you guys are in winter right now, and I guess that's good for skiing and for people who like the snow, but maybe a lot of people don't. And that said, obviously a lot of parts of North America are hot too. California is amazing. Florida is amazing. So maybe you guys have had it not so bad versus North America. And in Europe as well. I think most of you guys are probably in winter as well. That said, Europe in winter. Some parts are great. Some parts are freezing. Now, here in Australia, it's been summer. But it's been really hot for the last couple of weeks. Now, today is the first day where the temperature has really come down, and I had to go and attend my son's BMX race. Well, I didn't have to, but I went and took my son my 8-year-old son, Jack, to a BMX race tonight. I was wearing a t-shirt because I thought, it's not going to be cold. It's been hot every damn day, and guess what? It was freezing. It was such a strange experience to go from feeling really hot for so long to then feeling really cold. Now, what's going on here with this crazy record that Porsche has just set? It's insane. Blows my mind. How do they do this? Well, Inside EV's just reported that Porsche has announced that one of its Taycan sedans has broken the coast-to-coast charging record for electric vehicles. The Taycan was driven from coast to coast, and it only spent 2.5 hours charging in total. 2.5 hours. Something is not adding up for me to drive from coast to coast in North America. That's a long way. And you're only doing 2.5 hours of charging. But it turns out there was a secret to this. Now, this record is confirmed by the Guinness World Records and noted it was a major improvement on the old record that was 7 hours, 10 minutes, and 1 second of charging. So we've gone from 7 hours and 10 minutes of charging to only 2.5 hours. How is that even possible? Now, the Porsche was able to drop that number achieved by a Kia EV6, which, by the way, also is capable of 350 kilowatt charging. So both cars have 350 kilowatt charging. So why is the number so different? But anyway, the EV6 was beaten by 2 hours, 26 minutes and 48 seconds in terms of charging time, which was enough to take the vehicle 2,834 miles or 4,562 kilometers from in front of the New York City Hall to the Los Angeles City Hall. Wayne Gertis, with several Guinness World Records under his belt, was the driver, and he said, comparing charging performance from a variety of EVs I have driven to date, the Taycan sets the bar. The first time I charged on a 350 kilowatt charger, 6 to 82% occurred in just 22 minutes. But something still seems odd, right? They did 4,562 kilometers, only charging for 2.5 hours. Not even that, 2 hours and 26 minutes. How is that possible? Well, Wayne used PlugShare and the Electrify America app to start his journey across the breadth of the country. Obviously, I believe he was probably paid by Porsche and Electrify America, which just makes sense. Now, the vehicle he drove was the standard Taycan with the optional Performance Battery Plus option, which is a 93.4 kilowatt hour battery pack. By the way, not LFP batteries, obviously. I believe they are NCA chemistry batteries. Now, the car featured a bunch of premium packages to make it more comfortable for him. So the model he used was probably out of the price range of the average North American or the average person. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Now, the first way that they did this is it took them 6 days. 6 days to make this trip. So 4,500 kilometers in 6 days. So it was a long trip. Now, what actually happened was the driver drove, I believe, at an average speed of about 40 miles per hour on the highway and, of course, used truck lanes as much as he could, doing what we like to call hypermiling. That means you sit behind a truck, and when you're sitting behind a truck in either a battery-powered car or a petrol-powered car, you use a lot less fuel or a lot less energy from your battery. Now the original article I found about what actually happened was the car was charged 18 separate times, but only charged for 2 hours and 26 minutes in total. So it was supercharged, an average of 128 miles for each charge. So they've charged the battery at a very low state of charge in order to maximize charging speed. Now the question is being posed here: which electric car could beat the Taycan for this record? Well, the real question that comes down to here is, how slow are you willing to go? The slower you go, the higher your efficiency, right? Obviously to a certain point. And are you willing to sit behind other cars, such as trucks, in order to improve your efficiency? Because clearly that's what's happened here. And how many times are you willing to charge? How many charges are there along your route? How long are you willing to take to make this journey? How well do you plan it out? But one car that comes to my mind that could potentially do it is the Lucid Air. Now that has a pretty big battery and it also charges really fast. Another car I think could potentially do it is the GAC Aeon Plus, which can potentially charge this year on new chargers that have been built in China at 450 kilowatt state of charge. And that is even faster than the charging in the Taycan. And it's actually a car that no one on the forums has mentioned, maybe because it's in China. Now that car has a vehicle range of 1,000 kilometers, but that's on a kind of a very generous range estimate, CLC range. Actual real world range for that car is probably closer to about 700 kilometers, but that's still a massive range. If you do that in that car, you could potentially maybe you could beat this record if you're willing to take a long time. But I think the point of setting this record isn't to say we're better than Kia EV6 or we're better than this car. The point is to show you that you can do road trips, long range trips in an electric car. And that actually charging isn't really that much of a time waster. To me, the key takeaway I get from all this is that electric cars are coming and they are going to be so much better than gas vehicles. Even if there is one small setback to owning an EV, which is, the extra time it takes to charge them when you go on a road trip. But realistically, how many road trips do you do? How many road trips does the average person do? How often do we need to drive our car and have to charge it more than once on a road trip? It's pretty infrequent. For 99% of driving, EVs are just so much more convenient. You don't have to go to a petrol station and the cost is so much lower. Now, obviously, getting back to the record, driving style will change your efficiency in a huge way. Now, if you don't use cruise control, you can actually beat your efficiency often by about 20%, even to get the same average speed. Now, the guy who set this record is known to be an absolute expert in efficient driving, which is called hypermiling. And, you see these kinds of records posted regularly. This hydrogen car did 1,100 kilometers. This EV has done 1,500 kilometers. Realistically, though, that comes down to how good a hypermiler you are. And I think this test proves that the driver is an incredible hypermiler. Thanks for watching the channel, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye.